Welcome to Vital Life Stories, where we explore the deepest corners of the human soul to find peace within chaos. Meet Michael, a talented furniture maker whose hands created beauty, but whose mind was a constant storm of endless worry. His thoughts raced like wild horses, never resting, constantly obsessing over unpaid bills, demanding clients, and mistakes from years ago. Every piece of paper felt like a mountain he could not climb, and the weight of responsibility crushed his spirit daily. The ringing phone was not a sound of opportunity, but a siren of impending doom that made his heart pound violently. Sleep was a stranger to him, as the silence of the night only amplified the loud, chaotic noise within his head. His anxiety began to bleed into his craft, making his steady hands shake and his once sharp focus blur into confusion. He lived in constant fear of judgment, believing that one small mistake would destroy everything he had worked so hard to build. The inevitable happened when a major client walked away, leaving Michael alone with his failure and a deafening silence in the room. He felt like he was drowning on dry land, unable to breathe, convinced that his life was spiraling completely out of control. Seeing his despair, an old neighbor named Robert stepped in, his presence radiating a calm that Michael had not felt in years. Robert did not offer words of pity, but simply asked Michael to walk with him to a quiet place in nature. They walked in silence until they reached a small, secluded pond, hidden away from the noise and rush of the city. The water was crystal clear, a perfect mirror reflecting the beauty of the sky and the trees standing tall around it. Robert looked at Michael and then at the water, preparing to teach a lesson that words alone could never fully explain. Suddenly, the old man stirred the water violently, churning up the mud from the bottom until the clear reflection was completely gone. "Look at the water now," Robert said softly. "It is exactly like your mind when it is filled with fear and worry. When your mind is stirred up by anxiety, you cannot see the truth, you cannot see solutions, and you cannot see yourself." They stood there for a long time, doing absolutely nothing, just waiting for the natural order of things to return. Slowly, the mud settled back to the bottom, and the water returned to its original state of clarity and perfect stillness. Robert smiled and said, "The answer was always there. You just needed to be still enough to let the mud settle down." For the first time in years, Michael took a deep breath and felt the heavy weight on his chest finally lift away. He returned to work with a new perspective, understanding that rushing only stirs the mud and clouds his judgment and creativity. He learned to pause whenever stress appeared, allowing his thoughts to settle, just like the dirt in the old quiet pond. His work improved dramatically, and success followed. But the true test of his new mindset was yet to arrive. But life has a way of testing our resolve, and one dark night, a fierce fire engulfed Michael's beloved workshop. Flames danced wildly, consuming the wood and tools that were his livelihood, painting the night sky with a terrifying orange glow. Neighbors screamed in panic, running around in chaos, expecting Michael to collapse in devastation as he watched his dreams burn. But Michael stood firm, watching the destruction with a calmness that shocked everyone who knew his anxious history. He told them simply that he lost wood and nails, but he had not lost his peace or his mind. "I can rebuild a workshop with my hands," he said, "but I cannot rebuild anything if I lose my mind." The next morning, amidst the ashes and smoke, Michael was already planning, seeing opportunity where others saw only tragic endings. Because his mind was like still water, he could reflect on the solution clearly, instead of being overwhelmed by the problem. He built something better than before, proving that a calm mind is the strongest foundation for any life challenge. Peace does not mean a life without problems. It means having a mind strong enough not to be drowned by them. Like the water, let your mind settle, and you will find the strength to face any fire that life brings. Thank you for watching Vital Life Stories. Remember, true power lies in a calm mind. Subscribe for more inspiring tales.